The readings were insane. There were some courses that had like 3 or 4 required readings that were like 30 pages each. Like it was a lot to Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I just wanted to come through real quickly here and share with you guys, I guess, my end of term kind of review for school. I mentioned that a couple of videos ago in my water challenge video. I mentioned that I was gonna come back and kind of let you guys know what I've been up to and how my first term in this social work program has gone. I think my first term was a super duper success. I'm really excited about the content that I've learned about so far. I'm really excited about our practicums. So we get into practicum or placements in January, where we actually get to work with an organization hands-on as social workers, right? Obviously still students because we're still learning, but we're going to be put in positions where we can kind of utilize some of the foundational working skills that we were able to acquire within the last 3 months of the program. So I'm looking forward to that. And then next year we actually get to pick a stream that we want to go into. I think there's like 5. I can't remember them all. I think it's gerontology, there's human resources management. I don't know if it's HR, but like there's something for management, like if you wanted to use your MSW to, you know, manage a non-for-profit or create your own non-for-profit, there's a stream for that. There's a stream for mental health. There's a stream for I believe children, youth, and families, or something like that. And there's a 5th one. I can't remember what it was, but I'll find it and I'll plug it in here. So in January, we're going to actually declare the stream that we're going into, and I'll probably make a separate video about that. So in terms of the professors and my peers, I loved, you know, the experience. I loved the fact that, you know, people were so open and so transparent, and professors were patient. You know what I mean? They really took their time to make sure that students, or at least my professors, took their time to make sure students, you know, really understood what was being asked of them, provided as much support as possible for the conditions under which they are teaching. And I think oftentimes people forget how difficult and how taxing it can be for teachers and professors and things like that to actually teach on a platform that they're not used to. A couple of my professors were teaching, you know, virtually for the first time. So it was a brand new experience for them. And in my opinion, I feel like a lot of them navigated it really well. They were very transparent, they were very open, they were very welcoming, and they created a really safe space for their students to feel like they could chop it up about anything. You know, it was so friendly. Like everybody was so nice. Again, I'm speaking from my experience. I'm speaking for my peers and my profs that I had. I don't know how everybody else's experience was, but I just really appreciated you know, the supportive kind of collaborative nature that was harnessed in those particular courses between the profs and the professors.
Between the profs and the students.
Another layer to this, like that I've already touched on, that I think worked out really well in my favor, is the flexibility in terms of, you know, being at home. I really have been telling everybody, for the most part, that like as crazy as COVID is and as unfortunate as it's been, and you know, the people that have unfortunately lost their lives to this horrible pandemic, you know, it sucks. It really sucks that like this is how, you know, this is how the world is right now, and I hope that we can continue to push through it and overcome it. But I've been telling everyone lately that I feel like COVID has been such a silver lining for me specifically, because it's put me in a position where I've been able to achieve so much. And I think being given an opportunity to do my schooling from home, yes, 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 the human interactions would have been very different had it been done in person. And because social work is such an interactional type of profession, helping profession, it helps when you're actually in the room with people and you're feeding off of each other's energy and you're reading body language and doing what humans do under under normal social settings, right? But with that being said, like I said, I think it's a silver lining because there is the flexibility of being able to work in the comfort of your own home, the ability for me to say, okay, you know what, like all I gotta do is legit roll out of bed, hop in the shower, brush my teeth, like make sure that I look halfway decent. I promise you I probably look better on YouTube right now making this video than I did in any one of my Zoom classes, but just the fact that I didn't have to do the most, you know what I'm saying, in terms of preparing.
Of course, I was presentable. I wasn't out here looking all crazy and like embarrassing or anything like that.
But I'm just saying, like, there was less of the prep time that would have normally been required for me to actually, look decent, go to school, like commute and do all of that, right? So like that experience, I think, or that component, I think, made the experience even more enjoyable for me personally. In terms of the course content that I experienced for this first term, I think the general consensus with a lot of students was that there was a lot of material to cover within the 3 months. There was a lot. There was a lot of readings. There were a lot of assignments back to back.
It's like I was enrolled in five courses? It was foundations, group, policy, and elements and labs. Sorry, 4.
So I had 4 courses, and each course, I want to say 2 out of the 4 courses had maybe anywhere between 3 to 5 assignments, and the other ones only had 2, but they were worth like a chunk of your mark. And a lot of them, fortunately, was really just based off of completion, which I find it to be amazing. Like they just needed you to complete a particular assignment and demonstrate certain skills to be able to get your credit and pass that particular course, right? So I enjoyed that. But all in all, the content itself, between, like I said, the assignments, between the actual lectures and the readings.
The readings were insane.
The readings were insane. There were some courses that had like 3 or 4 required readings that were like 30 pages each. Like it was a lot to be able to be on top of. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, I could not process that much information in such a short period of time and actually retain anything. Like that was not gonna happen for me. So I literally had to rely on skimming through a lot of my readings a lot and just really trying to make the most of it, because there is no way possible that I can read through 300 pages of readings and complete various assignments that were due back to back, right? But I made it. You know what I mean? I made it through. And then what I would say about this particular program that kind of opened up my eyes, and I think I'll get into more detail about this probably in another video, because I don't want this one to be too long, because it's really just supposed to be like a quick little wrap up kind of end of term review. But what I think was most impactful for me was the importance of critical reflection. Now, of course, you guys know that this is a self-improvement channel, and I just find it so ironic that, I've decided to go ahead and pursue a social work degree, and it's rooted so heavily on self-reflection, self-improvement, right? Really processing the why behind why you feel a certain way. The amount of reflection assignments, insane. I feel like I've written so many reflections that I could probably put it in a book and throw it on Amazon and sell it. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it because it's almost like journaling, right? And the whole theme of like mindfulness and all of the things that you do for your own betterment, and all of the things that you would want to hear would help your personal growth or your personal development or your self-improvement. It's all wrapped up in this critical reflection piece and the critical analysis of your intersectionalities and your identity and your positionality, and how all of those things factor in to create a particular perception that you have of yourself in relation to the world, right? Which is vital, right? When you're doing any type of social work, especially with marginalized populations, it's vital to be cognizant of how you and that client intersect or interact as a result of kind of your own perceptions and your own personal experiences, right? So I really really appreciated the critical reflections, as many of them as I wrote, and I'm not down talking them or trying to downplay them or nothing like that, but I feel like it's so closely aligned with where it is that I'm going in my own journey, in my own self-improvement journey, right? So I thought that was a really I guess dope kind of exercise to go through in each one of the assignments where they were required. And I think another really important piece for me that even caught me off guard was the fact that the conversations about whiteness were so free. They were so open. It's not often that you'll be able to find yourself in spaces where you are, of the minority, and where you're black specifically. Let me just call a spade a spade. It's not often where you'll find yourself in spaces where people are receptive to what you have to say, right? And as a racialized person, and I shared this with my peers a lot of the times, the duty, it falls on your shoulders to talk about the black experience when conversations about anti-black racism and oppression and things like that come up. You kind of feel the pressure to be the spokesperson, right? So it was nice to be able to get that off my chest and have people say, you know what, nah, it's not for you to do. That's not the work for you to do. And just the transparency of those conversations, I appreciated it because as a black woman, as a dark-skinned black woman, as a woman that is tall, because I'm not short, you know what I mean? I'm not crazy tall, but I'm not short either. I've always heard things about my presence, right? My presence, the way that I talk, the way that I use my hands, the passion with which I speak, my expressiveness in my face, all of those things oftentimes can be used against you, right? I've heard oftentimes people have told me, and I've heard from other people that people have said, right, that I carry this like kind of intimidating nature, and I'm just like, yo, I'm the cutest, sweetest thing. Like, I mean, I know my RBF be on 100 sometimes, and I've spoken to that in a video. Okay, I'm gonna put the link here, y'all can go see that. But I know my resting, B face can be like, intimidating, but it's like I don't really set my face like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I don't do it on purpose is what I'm trying to say, right? It's just how I look. But I guess that's a perception that people have of me, and I've heard that a lot. So it was really cool to be in a space with peers and professors that understood, you know what I mean, where I was coming from when I would share certain things. And I think, the transparency with which people were speaking with in terms of whiteness and privilege and things that people recognize that they have was refreshing for me, because like I said, I haven't been in too many spaces where people are even cognizant of that. So I think, again, the critical reflection piece, conversations about whiteness were my biggest takeaways from this particular term. I feel like I learned a lot about myself. I feel like I learned a lot about my peers. I feel like I've learned a lot in general about the social work profession, a lot of which I didn't necessarily know before, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, cool. Like, I mean, I have some background, I have some experience. All I got to do is connect people to things, connect them to resources, follow up with them and do kind of like that case managerial type role. But it's more than that, right? It's more than that. Social work is about giving people the space, the safe space to share their stories with you, and you help them through their journey, right? Self-determination being one of those key components. So I'm not going to get into all of the specifics for my social work people that are on here that are looking for a little bit of guidance, that are looking for a little bit of clarity, a little bit more insight. I promise you I'm going to continue to make more content to help you guys kind of navigate and figure out if this is really what you want to do. I have a whole bunch of videos lined up that I want to really shoot that dedicate some specific attention to social work, because I think it's important that representation is present, especially when we talk about marginalized communities, racialized populations. We need more of us in positions to help more of us. It's a common kind of complaint that I hear from a lot of my clients that I deal with, is that they don't feel like they have a lot of professionals that look like them, that resemble them, that they can, have a genuine kind of connection with. But again, I'm not going to make this long-winded, because this was literally about the end of term review, to let you know kind of how it went and where I'm sitting with it right now. I promise I will continue to make some more social work related content for all of you guys. If you're a social worker, if you are a student who is kind of trying to navigate and figure out what they want to do, and maybe you think social work is of interest to you, please drop me a line in the comment section below. Share with me some of your experiences. Talk to me. I will try my best to be here to answer as many questions as possible. I'm not a social worker yet, but I'm on the journey. So if I can learn from you, you can learn from me. I think that's what would be most helpful. But yeah, like I said, that's all I got. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you like what I'm doing, okay? Go ahead and do that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.